And
gets a cape.
And then he gets a cape, because that's what you do. And then, actually, sorry, we skipped a part where Freddy's skateboarding around.
Yeah.
And then Freddy's skateboarding around, and he's cutting paper out of this whole place. So the whole place is now made up of paper, and he's cutting it and cutting it and cutting it, and then the fucking half of it comes crashing down. That's a major plot point.
Yeah.
So then this is when, the whole Super Freddy of it all happens. And then he just turns into fucking paper.
Well, one slash.
Yeah.
And he's not
and
the
then all of a sudden
Prowler
he's
anymore.
paper,
He's
and he's also not Super Freddy anymore. Yeah. It's Robert again, and he's
regular
just paper.
Mark as Paperman.
And then we get to the scene where he's cutting them, and this is where, like I said, he cuts pieces of him off, and they fall to the ground, and then he cuts his head off, and it falls to the ground in the original cut. And then he says, "I told you, comic books was bad for you." And then there's Mark. Mark's done. We wake up, fucking Alice... No, Alice isn't up yet. No, sorry.
No, well, here's
Yvonne,
the thing. While this is happening, while this entire scene is happening, there's another scene happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yvonne is
in
swimming.
She starts in
she's
She's
gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Do you think the pool's still open? Oh, you better quick."
Yeah, it's like, hurry up if you quit, because she was crying. And then she fucking runs in, the pool's cool. So she gets into the hot tub, which is exactly what you want to do if you're trying to stay awake, which I don't think she was, but seriously. So she falls asleep.
Well, because she's not trying to stay awake because she doesn't believe in any of this
She doesn't believe in this shit. So she falls asleep in the hot tub. And this is where Freddy and Alice are also tangling, which I'm like, wait. The timeline of that don't work, but okay. Freddy's got time. He can split himself. He's good. So Yvonne
he's now on the diving board.
Gets up and crawls up to the diving board. And, by the way, during this scene, Kelly Jo Minter, fucking massive food poisoning. Sick as a fucking dog. So, good on her. She did a good job.
Trooper.
So, shit just starts cracking. The diving board starts cracking, and then fingers, like nasty, tendril fingers and that start curling up in front of her. She tries to run, and then they're also in the back of her. And then her only way out is she jumps off the diving board toward the pool, and then somehow turns into a dive. Which I'm like, wait, what? Okay. And then she dives, and in a fantastically cool shot, she dives into a puddle and breaks through it, which is really cool. So then this is when Alice is going through another fucking cavern, because that's all you do. And
similar to the one that
it's basically
Yvonne
the same one she was
dived into.
And then it's Let's Rock and Roll, and Freddy rolls her on the side of the wall into another room that's full of water. You see where we're going here. So she's grabbed a hold of some change. She's cool. She manages to fall down, and everything's cool. Freddy fucking pops up, spitting water out, because that's what you do. And he's just like, surprise, Piglet, I'm here, whatever. And then he's just, and I can't remember what she says.
We're doing pet names now?
I can't remember where he says it, but she's just like, I'm going to get you or something like that. And he goes, I don't know, maybe we should ask Yvonne. And he pulls her up by the head from the ground. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking funny. And
now for my next trick.
Yeah. Watch me pull a rabbit out of the hat. Not again.
So he pulls her out, and she's all messed up, tore up from the floor.
Yeah, she's unhappy.
Now she grabs Yvonne, pulls her out, and she's allowed to escape because, again, Amanda Kruger shows up.
Yeah, and she just sort of lets...
And Freddy's basically...
yeah, he starts backing away like, you fucking bitch.
And she kind of mocks him like, bitch, you can't come out here. Ha, ha, ha.
And then he slams the door on her where she says, look for me in the tower, and it slams shut. And I'm like, all right, well, we got that.
Look for me in the tower.
All right. So we know what to do.
Although I think that was at the beginning.
It was, but same shit. So then Yvonne fucking pops up, like, holy shit.
I think I finally believe you.
Yeah, I think I got this. So then she drives over, because basically Alice wakes up, and the whole fucking place, except where she is done.
And she establishes quick when the cops show up. I think talking to Yvonne goes, he was trying to save me.
No. She says it to a cop, which
I'm
like, dummy up, motherfucker.
Because the cop's like, you're real lucky.
Yeah, he basically says, like, it's lucky you both weren't killed. And she says straight to the cop, he needs me alive. I'm like...
And the cop literally goes, oh, what?
What?
And then Yvonne's like, oh, she's crazy. She's just crazy.
She's pregnant. She's hormones. It's just... And
like,
then
shut up, girl.
Yeah. So
Yvonne survives. Mark does not. Mm-hmm. And then Yvonne and Alice are now splitting up. Alice going to look for Freddy.
Yeah, she's like, you go to the tower and find Sister Mary Helena, and I'm going to go find Freddy.
Amanda Kruger, they don't ever call her Sister Mary Helena.
Well, I'm going to, because this movie is dumb.
So, another great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Alice finds Freddy because Freddy is ripped out of her.
Yep. Okay.
So
I ain't complaining.
Like, she goes back to, I guess, the exact same spot where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And Freddy appears out. Like, she goes, no more! And then she literally reaches inside of her own face and starts ripping Freddy out of her.
Well, this is,
And I'm like, was it established that Freddy was in her the whole time?
Well, no, she's pulling him out of the womb, basically, because he's in her womb. That's what it is, right? That's why he's always fucking, everyone's going in a womb, because that's where he is. So she pulls him out, and, does that. Oh, no, that's later on. What am I doing? No, that's near the end. We haven't done the fucking disappearing, the spiders yet.
Oh, right.
So then they go back to the maniac's room, and this is where Freddy's getting ripped apart by the maniacs.
Yeah.
And this is where the arm falls off and it turns into fucking
and she
tarantulas.
thinks, oh, well, that's done.
Well, we're done here.
They took care of him.
Yeah. And this is where, Freddy says again, more fucking quippy one-liners. His arms fucking hanging, dangling off and shit like that, and he's like all fucked up, and he's just like, hey, Alice, new look. Thanks, babe. And I'm like, oh my god, this is what's happening now. And also, what's it called? Jacob is there.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the scene from that painting that I just realized I meant to look up and I didn't. It's the painting with all the stairs in every which
MC
direction.
Escher or whatever.
The Escher painting. I don't remember what the painting's called. I meant to look it up and I forgot to.
Yeah.
But, so, this is where it's happening and it's crawling all over the joint and everything like that.
Because he's basically like, take my hand, let's go. It's like, Jacob, get away from him.
Yeah, and then, he sort of listens for a second and then we see Dan enter into the diner, which is now in the left quadrant. And then we see giant Alice face talking like, Dan, oh my god, it's nice to see you. And we see Freddy over here. And then it's Jacob again. And then he looks down and then he sort of goes towards him. And then all of a sudden, Dan's hand.
Yeah, that's not your father!
He flexes his hand like Freddy and you hear the claw sound. She goes, that's not your father! And he swipes at him with the fucking hand. I'm like, what are you going to do, dude? And then Freddy pops back up, and this is where
they're all running on different stairs, and I think it's a really cool shot.
It is. It's beautiful. And then this is where she goes, well, fuck it, and then she starts pulling him out. And then, because she basically just like, that's enough, and she turns around, and she's got Freddy's face. And then she starts pulling him out. And then they do this cool shot where they do like, the face starts sort of melding together, and she's got what turns out to be a paraplegic actor strapped to her.
Oh, okay.
And
that's
they
how
hold
did
his up,
it.
because he's got no legs.
Yeah, it's just his torso and his head.
Exactly. So they do that, and then all of a sudden, fucking, this is where Yvonne fucking has been, by the way, the whole time trying to fucking grab her. Like, get through the tower to fucking find...
I think she sees an opening, and she starts taking out bricks. And
yeah. So she starts doing... And then she just throws her body into it. And then falls into the room.
Like Kool-Aid Man's her way in, like,
kind of. Yeah! And then she walks over to the body, touches it, and it turns around and it's
Mrs. Bates!
It's Mrs. Bates, exactly. But then, of course, Beatrice Bopple shows up. It's like, thank you. And then this is where...
You saved me!
Yeah, and this is where she pops up and sort of pimps in and goes, what's going on here? And then she goes, oh, hey, Jacob. Alice won't triumph, so you've got to do something or she's going to die.
Yeah, she's totally fucked.
She's dead.
You need to do something. So he looks over and he's got Freddy face.
He's got Freddy face now, and he's like, hey, Kruger, forget her. I'm done with her. She's no fun anymore. I want to learn stuff from you now. And Freddy agrees, so he splits up.
Yeah, he's just like, you're right, kid.
And he sniffs his glove first. Yeah. So I'm like, that's a weird shot.
Ooh.
I'm like, all right. And then he makes out with Alice for a minute, and then drops her. Walks over, fucking meeting up with Jacob, and then Jacob pukes on him. Pukes the souls into him, and then the souls pull, and the great imagery of these souls, these like puppetry souls.
When they died.
They died. Like
Mark
the faces...
looks like the Phantom Prowler, Greta has that big puffy cheek, and Dan looks like the motorcycle guy.
And they're all pulling and pulling and pulling, and they all suck back into Amanda Kruger. And then she's just like, take your baby and go. I don't know how long I can hold him. So she grabs him, because now Jacob has morphed back into a baby. So Alice picks up the baby, and the baby magics into her stomach. And then Amanda's like, get the fuck out. And this is where we get the shot where she's just like, go, go. And then the glove pushes through Amanda's stomach. And this is where we get the pull back of the door, slamming shut, breaking, slamming shut, breaking, slamming shut, breaking. So he's done the best he can to sort of break out of her, and we're done with that. And that's it.
Cut to Alice, Yvonne, and Dad in the park with the baby.
And she's like, hey, hope, have a good night, Jacob Dillon.
Jacob Daniel.
Jacob Daniel. Where did I get Dylan? So Jacob Daniel. And we get the pullback, and then you get the jump rope. And
because it's just like, hey, there's gonna be another one.
And you get Vincent Price laughing, because that's what you get.
Was that what that was?
That's what that was, yeah.
Was it actually Vincent Price?
Yeah, it was. It was sampled on the rap song.
Oh, yeah. Right. Well, if you can get you can get that.
Mm-hmm. So that's how that goes. And that's the end of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
We're like, this character, we'll get to it next week, I guess, but like, we're done here with Alice.
Alice does not return. In a bit of a spoiler, they tried. They tried to get her back. Yeah. She was unavailable. There were a lot of scripts for Freddy's Dead. A lot of scripts.
And that will be our movie next week.
Yes.
But for now, we'll give our ratings. And like I said, despite the maybe, for lack of a better term, shit we were talking about this movie for most of it, I'm still giving it fucking 8 Freddy babies out of 10.
Oh, you are higher than me.
Yeah.
I've always been that this is my least favorite of the franchise. I'm giving it a 7. I'm giving it 7. Thanks, babes.
I thought you were gonna go. It's a boy.
I was going to, but that's just too long.
Here's why. Because honestly, I'll be honest. The first 20 minutes of this film, I'm just like, oh god. Because I was kind of invoking the feelings watching the second one, going, oh man. Because I really liked the third and fourth. So going into this one, I'm like, oh no. But I think the combination of Alice's acting, or the character,
Lisa
Wilcox's acting, because I think she does a great job the whole movie.
She does.
And the effects, because I think out of the first 5, and from what I'm gathering, the next 2, this is the most visually appealing movie out of all of them.
Yes.
And if you're gonna give me a convoluted story, if you're gonna give me the visuals to just kind of hide that, where you're not even like, you're not worried about like, well, that makes no sense, because you're basically distracted by the visuals. A visually appealing, interesting film will always be better than a movie where you're actually trying to really deliver a story. When it comes to horror films, more or less. Because, again, when you're doing like ridiculous scenes, like they have done the last couple of Freddy movies, just make it interesting. Yeah. That's all I'm asking, is you make it interesting. So they not only did they make it interesting, they're some of the most inventive, if not the most inventive, kills from a thought process and design. So that's why I'm giving it an 8.
See, I give it a 7 because, as much as, like I said,
I was going to give it a 7, but
I'm not going to lie. I will. This is, as I said earlier, it is the most visually interesting of the films. There is hands down no point, but the story is so convoluted and stupid.
I can't defend that.
I can't. True. And I mean, I also can't defend the next one because it's dumber. But there's something about this flick. Like when I go back to watching all of the Nightmare films, this is the only one that I never watch by itself. You know, when I'm in the mood to go through the whole gambit, I'll watch this one. But if I'm like, I just want to watch one of them, it's never this movie. Because this movie
What's the limit? Doesn't... Like, I'll watch 3, 4, and 5, or I'll watch...
No, I mean, like, if I'm just like, I want to watch... I'm in the mood to watch Nightmare 3. I'll pop in Nightmare 3, and I'll just watch that one alone, and I'll go on with my day. But
what I'm asking is, like, when you want to watch this movie, you're watching all of them?
Yeah, usually when this movie happens, when I see this movie, it's because I'm like, I want to watch the Nightmare franchise.
Are there days where you do that?
Not days. Okay. I can't do it in one day. I mean, I could, but I don't. Yeah, days. Oh, yeah. I'll just be like, I feel like going through the whole franchise just to...
That's when you'll watch this one.
That's the only time I'll ever see this movie. I never seek this one out alone, because it's just fucking retarded. It's just... Yeah. It makes no sense. And I mean, again, I'm going to leave it alone, because I'll talk about the next one later, but this movie just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I love the visuals, as I said, and I think Robert Englund, this might be some of his strongest work.
Right.
but it's so ridiculous. It feels unfinished. The whole movie